Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon and never miss another update from Almighty Java. In this video, we will see how to secure our REST API using JWT and Spring Security in Spring Boot. So if you have not watched our previous video about Spring Boot, then please watch it. Before implementing the changes, first let's see what is JWT or JSON Web Token. JWT is a JSON-based open source standard for creating access tokens that allows us to secure communications between client and server. In simple words, JWT only creates and validates the token. The authentication part is taken care by the Spring Security. In case of create, it will encode the username with a current timestamp using a signature algorithm. In case of validate, it will decode the token and extract the username. How will it work if the token is not available for the very first time? It will call the authentication manager authenticate method, and this method will accept the username and password. So based on details, it will validate the credentials and the authentication part is taken care by the Spring Security. If credentials are valid, then it will look forward to creating a token using JWT built-in methods of JWTs factory class and JWT builder interface. Else, it will throw the exception like bad credentials. How will it work if the token is available in the authorization header? Using this screenshot, you can clearly understand how are we going to send token as part of the header. It will extract the username from the token using JWT built-in methods of JWTs factory class and JWT parser interface. Once the username is extracted, then JWT work is done. Rest of the things taken care by the Spring Security user details service class. Now let's implement. See, again I am telling, if you are not following my last two videos, then please watch it because I am going to continue the same code. In this video, I am going to follow the approach which we can easily find in any of the technical blog. Next video, we'll see is there any possibility to remove the unnecessary code. If it is possible, then we will remove the code which is not required. First, let's add the JWT Maven dependency. So let's open POM XML file. Okay, we added the dependency. Now from existing code, we need to remove some of the code. So let's open Spring Security config class. From this class, let's remove this authentication entry point bean. And from here also remove authentication entry point method call. That's it. Now let's create a new class name. Let's say JWT token provider. Annotate this class as a component. Let's implement the serializable interface. Add generated serial version ID. Now let's create a variable for secret key. You can use any value. What I am just using the value Almighty Java. That's the channel name. So now the question is, why do we need a secret key? What is the use? So secret key is a string that is used in the signature algorithm that generates the cryptographic signature for the token. The idea is that this key must be known only to the application, because anyone who has the secret key, then they might be able to generate new token with valid signature. I hope you got the idea behind the secret key. Here I am holding this value in a string, but the secret key must be a byte array. So let's convert this secret key to a byte array, but not directly. Let's do this conversion inside the init method. So to convert this secret key string to byte array, we will use base64 class, because this class have a method which will help us to encode the byte array to string. Now we need to add post construct annotation for this method. So why post construct? Because the post construct annotation is used on a method that needs to be executed after dependency injection is done to perform any initialization. So I hope this init method purpose is clear for you. Here add scope like protected. Now let's add a variable for validity in milliseconds. Here let's assign some value. So as per this calculation, our token will alive only for 36 seconds. You can choose any number. Now let's create a method for creating the token. This method will return the token and accepts the username and user role. Let's create a claims object with the help of JWTs claims method. and set subject as username. So here claims are the piece of information asserted about a subject. A claim appears as a name value pair where name is always a string and the value can be any JSON value. Here let's put key as auth and value as a role. Now let's create a data object. Like I said earlier, in case of creating token, we need to use JWTs factory class and JWT builder interface. So let's create a token with the help of them. Don't worry, this is quite a standard way to create a token. Like I said earlier, we need to use a signature algorithm. So that's it. Now this method will give a unique token and that token will valid only for 36 seconds. Now let's create a reference for user details service. Annotate this as autowired. Let's create a method for authentication and this method accepts the token. Here we will extract the username from token. So basically this method will taking care of the second scenario when user send the token as part of the authorization in the header. Like I said earlier, in this scenario with the help of JWTs factory class and JWT parser interface, we can extract the username. So with the help of all these methods, now we have the username. Now we need to validate this username. So if you remember, inside user details service, there is a method and method name is load user by username. So let's use that method and get the user details object. Okay, so now we have the user details object. Now let's return the child of authentication and the child is username password authentication object. Okay, so this method related changes are done. Let's create one more method and the method name, let's say validate the token. And here at the end, let's return true. Okay, so for this class, all changes are done. I hope whatever we added till now, it is clear for you. Now let's create JWT token provider reference in Spring Security config class. Annotate this as autowired. Still there are some changes we need to add, but before that we need to add two more classes. Now let's create a new class and class name, let's say JWT token configurer. This class will extend security configurer adapter. And for generic values, so let's add default security filter chain and HTTP security. Now let's create JWT token provider reference. Initialize this using constructor. Let's override the configure method. Here we need to add a filter in add filter before the method. Now we need to create a filter. So filter name, let's say JWT token filter. We created the filter. Here let's pass the JWT token filter object. Let's add required changes in JWT token filter class. This class extends once per request filter class. Now let's create JWT token provider reference. Initialize this using constructor. Let's override do filter internal method. Now we need to pass token provider in JWT token filter object. This JWT token configure class also need to use in Spring Security config class. So here in configure method need to call HTTP apply method and need to pass JWT token configure object. Okay, so all these changes are done. Now let's add required changes in toFilter internal method. First, let's read the authorization from request and assign the value in token variable. So now we have a token, but the very first time we will pass username password, and based on that it will return the token. And after that, as part of every request, we will pass the token as part of the authorization. I hope whatever I said, it is clear for you. Now let's add a simple condition for the second case, because for the first case this filter will not execute any code. So if the token is not null and token is valid, then we will use a security context holder, which is a helper class which provides access to the security context. By default, it uses a thread local object to store security context, which means that the security context is always available to methods in the same thread of execution, even if you don't pass the security context object around. Now we need to pass the authorization object, which we can get from the get authentication method of the token provider class. Now, what if the token is invalid? Then get authentication method will throw the exception. So for that, we need to add try catch block and need to handle the exception. So basically here I'm clearing the context and as part of response giving some error message. Don't worry, this code is simple. Here setting content type is application JSON and setting status as unauthorized. And using getWriter to print some message like token is expired or invalid. Okay, so all the JWT related changes are done. Now to handle the first case when user passes the username and password as part of the request body and the response, it will give the token. So for this case, we need to add one more resource class and the class name, let's say user resource. And now just to make it simple and same convention which I am following for book, I am adding the IMPL also as part of user resource. Annotate this class as a REST controller and for request mapping pass the user. Add the logger related code. Now let's add a reference for authentication manager and annotate this as autowired. Add a reference for JWT token provider and annotate this also as an autowired. Add a reference for user repository and annotate this also as autowired. Now let's create the method which will keep all the logic. Method signature will be same as we followed for book resource IMPL. Method name, let's say authenticate. This is post request call, so add post mapping annotation for value pass authenticate and it will produce the application JSON. Now the authentication will happen based on the username and password which we can get from the request body. So let's call the authenticate method using authentication manager. Here pass username password authentication token object and this accepts two parameters. So here the principal is nothing but the username and the credentials are password. Okay, so this is done. Now let's create the JSON object. Let's call the create token method of token provider and pass the email and role. At the end, let's return the JSON object. As per the security implementation, even this URL also is secured, but we want to access this directly. So let's permit this URL using end matchers and permit all. Let's see how to do that. So for that, we need to add some changes in Spring Security config configure method. Here, HTTP basic is not required. We added because of authentication entry point and we removed the code. So let's remove this also. Now all changes are done. Let's start the server. Oops, it's giving some error. So error like consider defining a bean of type authentication manager in your configuration. Let's fix this error first. Actually, in Spring Security config class, now user details service related code is not required. So let's remove, but we need to add password encoder bean. One more thing also we need to add. So basically we need to override one more method and the method name is authentication manager bean. That's the error it was giving. Here no need to add any code, only we need to add bean annotation. That's it. Now let's start the server. Server started without any error. Now let's try to access the books. See, it is giving access denied message. Now let's execute the newly created request. This method type is post. Here content type also need to include. Okay, so here in request body we need to add JSON and in JSON need to add email and password. Okay, I hope you understood all the things which I added for this request. So here response which I am expecting is token. Let's execute this request. See here, token is coming as a response. Now, to access any of the request, we need to include this token as part of the header. Let's see how to do that. Okay, here, let's add new custom header. Here, name is authorization and attribute value is token. So paste the copied value. Now, click on the send. See, it is working and returning the result. Now, let's put some letter in the token. Okay, now token is invalid. Let's try now. See, it is giving the exception like expired or invalid token. Let's correct the value and try again. See, it is not working because token expired. You can see now the message is different. Let's regenerate the token. Now copy this token and replace the token and then try. See, it is working. We created token for the user. Now let's change the credentials from user to admin and generate the token for admin access. If you have watched the previous video, then only admin can post a new book. So let's execute the post request using admin token. See, it is working. Now try to access get method. See, token is expired. Let's regenerate the token and try again. See, now showing 2 books. I hope things are clear for you. I checked in my changes. I will show you from where you can get these changes. So open our GitHub page. I created a new repository for JWT related changes. See, here are the changes. If you want, you can follow me on the GitHub. Next video will see whatever we added for JWT, is everything required or we can remove some of the code, and along with that, we'll do some of the enhancement also. I hope you learned something from this video. That's it for this video. Please like and share this video. Subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.